Well, I guess welcome back to Iowa City.
Yeah.
It's been like 15 years, 16 years. What do you remember about coming here as a recruit?
I remember having a great time. And it was my number one spot until it wasn't, but it ended up being number two, and it wasn't because of anything that y'all did, It was all love when I came here. I enjoyed the environment, the people. I always remember coming here for my official visit, so go Hawks for sure.
Do you remember the game, the official visit?
I do not remember the game, do you?
No.
I do not remember the game.
What year was it? Was it like 06, 07?
I have no. It was 2008 in the. It was 2007. The end of so it was 2007, like that football season, because 2008 I graduated. So it was 2007 football season ish. I don't remember the game though.
Sure,
Yeah.
After a few years, more than a few years playing the pros, just these last couple of years, getting back where you're on a college campus every weekend, what's that just been like for you?
I mean, college football I think it's the best. Just the fans, the history, the culture. There's nothing like college football. So being able to experience different campuses, different programs, different cultures, different traditions, it's been a blessing. It's something that I would have did it anyway. You know what I mean? So the fact that I'm have it as a job, I can't say that I'm working. I'm having a blessed time. So super grateful and thankful for the opportunity.
Well, I guess what's to say about Kirk Ferentz, the fact that he's still here and coaching even when you were on the official mistake?
He's the GOAT, man. He's the winningest coach in Big Ten history, and that'll never be broken, I don't think, especially with today's day and age, how they're letting go of coaches for whatever. But he's just an amazing human being. I remember him inviting us to our house, and he was one of the main reasons why Iowa was so high on my list. I just believed in him. I believed in this program, a program of building great men, great football players, and just a program of success. So super thankful for him and super happy for him and what he's been able to accomplish, because just a great man, great human being, and great coach.
Mark, do you think Iowa's physical run game can wear down Oregon's speed over all 4 quarters?
I think so. Over time, the physicality of the defense, and then you add the physical dimension of the offense as well. And then it's supposed to be a little bit of weather tomorrow, so that kind of plays into the game script for Iowa. And then in Kinnick as well, it seems like it's going to be a tough one for Oregon tomorrow. So I just think how they play well on all 3 phases: offense, defense, special teams. I think it's like a vintage Iowa recipe for an upset. So we'll see how it plays out tomorrow.
What impresses you most about coming here for this particular game at this point in this season? What stands out to you about the matchup and just the experience in general?
I think it's a huge matchup. I think both teams have a lot to play for. Iowa controls their own destiny. In my opinion, they win tomorrow. You win versus USC. You win 2 more games. Why not Iowa? End up being like the 3rd team that go into the college football playoff. So I think it's just a huge game this week. Obviously for Oregon, for Iowa as well. And then just the fact that I've never been here since I took my official visit. So always it's kind of like blurred memory, you know what I mean? So I kind of want to just come back and, see it again and experience it again. So I remember it being a great time. So I kind of wanted to, when I started doing this and we were in the Big Ten, I always kind of had Iowa City back on my radar, because I wanted to re-experience why I liked it so much when I was in high school.
How would you describe the offensive transformation? Obviously, Iowa's passing game still work in progress, but what Tim Lester's done with pre-snap motion, mid-zone run, and everything, I guess. From your perspective, how would you describe the offensive transformation over the past couple of years?
I think it's just working with what you got, trying to put your players in position to be successful. You see some option game in there. You see lots of different motions, lots of different eye candy, just to give the defense something to think about, and then be able just to run downhill with several different backs. Obviously, Gronowski as well, his running ability. Obviously, I think you're going to have to be able to complete a couple passes here tomorrow to be able to, get done with what everyone here is hoping to get done. But I think it's just a great coaching job of being able to put your players in position, knowing what you're good at, knowing what your strengths are, being able to capitalize on that. And they've done a real good job of that ever since we saw them play, especially versus Iowa State. Everyone kind of was counting Iowa out after that game, and they've just done a great job of improving and, putting their players in position to be successful.
Outside of the 2 quarterbacks, which player or players from both teams have really stood out to you this season?
I'm a running back guy, so I think both the Oregon backs and then Moulton as well. I live in Florida. He's a South Florida kid. You pair him with Gronowski, and then there's a few other backs as well. So I always love the running backs, and then I think that'll be huge in this game as well, especially with it being weather, with it being a physical game. I think the run game will have a huge impact on the outcome of this game. So super excited to see that battle of the trenches per se.
I know offensive line is basically a running back's best friend.
Yeah.
I guess how would you describe the Iowa offensive line? And it really doesn't matter who's been in the backfield; they've been able to be productive this season.
I mean, that's what Iowa's known for. Is like that's what appealed to me about being a running back. They always have a tough offensive line. I think this offensive line is extremely physical. They're always kind of imposing their will on the defense. And you can see that over time, and that's something that Oregon kind of had a little trouble with if you watch the Indiana tape, just the physicality. And so I think that is a huge advantage and a huge plus for Iowa going into this game tomorrow is the physicality at the line of scrimmage. They know what to do, they know how to do it, and they do it aggressively and pretty nasty. So they have an attitude with the way they play, and you got to love that as a running back.
How about Iowa's defense? What have you seen from them that stands out to you? What do you like about it?
Tough against the run, and that's going to be huge, especially with they got 3 backs over there that are really explosive and can change the game. So tough against the run and opportunistic. So when you're tough against the run, you're opportunistic, able to get sacks, able to get turnovers. That's what you look for in a defense. So always been known to have a tough defense here at Iowa, and it hasn't changed with this team this year. So
how excited are you just to see this whole area packed with fans tomorrow?
I'm super excited, man. Like I said, man, when I came here, I felt love. I don't really always remember everything, but I know I felt love. I love the energy. I love the passion of the fans. So to be able to be here in Iowa City with Big Noon, hope all the fans come out. We have a great time and set the tone for what will be a good day for the Hawks.
How about the wave? Do you plan on being a part of that at all?
The wave, that's in the stadium, right?
Yeah, between the first and second quarter.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be here for the game tomorrow. But like I said, I love all traditions, all history, and I just like to be a part of all of that.
1 or 2 more, guys.
We've heard a lot of national media people talk about how this could be an upset game. What prediction you got for us?
I think if Iowa finds a way to score 24 points, they win. That's what I believe. If you don't score 20 points, I think they're going to win. So I think if Iowa can find a way to score 24 points, however you can manufacture that and generate those points, I feel like they win tomorrow.
I know you guys got the best of Tebow when he was at Florida in 09, but Gronowski has kind of flashed that that aura where like everyone in that huddle believes in him.
Yeah.
And, they're the same size, kind of play the same fashion. Just from your perspective of just when a team has a guy like that just no matter what it is in the fourth quarter, they believe they have a chance. What can that do for the team?
And that shows great leadership. If you can have your whole team and your huddle believing in you, that just shows what type of person you are. Because the worst thing you could have is go into a huddle and your teammates don't believe in you. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just not what you want. And so for you to be able to have that aura, regardless of what's going on, regardless if the pass game is working or if it's not working or the run game is working or if it's not working, for you to step in the huddle and for you to have complete belief of everyone in that huddle and your entire team and your coaching staff, that just shows a high character individual at the quarterback position. So kudos to him for sure.
I know we don't have an injury report, but can we get a status update here?
Oh my God, nobody cares about my injured ankle or foot. Nobody gives anything about my tendon in my ankle. We can move on.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. Well, it's probable, okay, then.
Yeah.
We were just talking a few
It's
days
that time
ago.
of the season. Everybody's injured. We all play banged up.
It's November, you play.
Right? This is what you do.
Well, you're back in Iowa City, and I know a few years ago you got to see this side of it outside of Kinnick, and just you can probably already feel it in the air, the atmosphere, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, I was at the airliner last night. I'm doing Iowa
Welcome
proper, and when I got in there, it was a little quiet and subdued. After the sandwich and second drink, things started getting a little louder in there. So you can definitely feel the interest drumming up. And this is the most important 8-day stretch of Iowa football this season. If they get through Oregon, if they get through that trip to the West Coast, you are saying to yourself, we are a playoff team. We need to be in serious consideration, and it all starts Saturday taking care of the Ducks.
What about this matchup matchup, aside from potential CFP implications for both sides, intrigues you the most?
Offense versus defense. You know, the Hawkeyes have made a living, you know, for how long now, right? Around their defense and around their special teams, and Iowa's been getting it done because of offense. What I find fascinating is, can Iowa start to change the conversation just a little bit, just enough where they're like, hey, you do need to respect our offense. Hey, this triple option can cause some problems. Hey, the weather might be a factor. It probably won't be because both teams seem to thrive in that, but I think if Iowa can somehow get away from the old standby conversation of we're just a defensive team that, by the way, can hit you once in a while with special teams, then they've got a real chance to create that upset and make big noise in the playoff picture.
It seems like Tim Lester has totally changed the run.
Yeah.
Scheme, though. And I guess how from your vantage point, I guess how have you seen Iowa's run game specifically progress over the last 2 years? Even this year, they played 4 different backs. It really hasn't been a drop off.
My take on that is do what you're good at, right? You know, like Wisconsin is probably kicking themselves because they've gotten away from what they're good at, and that's why they're winless in Big Ten play. Iowa, you know what your bread and butter is, so play it, do it, run that ball, and then keep running it, and then when you're thinking about it, run it again. You got to get the passing game going, and I think that will change the dynamics and obviously the national perception of what Iowa football is, but that's what Kirk Ferentz is. That's what this new triple option is. Run the ball, run it effectively, let Gronk keep winning, right? I mean, that's all the guy does is win as a quarterback, so let him play to his strengths. And that's what good coaching does. You know, put your players out there in a position to succeed where they can succeed. You know, don't ask them to do things they're not good at.
You mentioned getting the offense going for Iowa, but this is a defense that held out Indiana to 15 points. Just how it is important to get the offense going, but how important is it defensively to stop this explosive Oregon team?
I think if you're Iowa and you're in the third quarter and Oregon is sitting there 14, 17 points, you've probably done your job. I think the Iowa defense needs to put the offense in a position where they only need to get 3 touchdowns and that's it. You should be able to win the game right now. The consistency of this Iowa defense is really something remarkable. I think the folks in greater Iowa City probably overlook it and get bored with it and yawn with it, and they want something sexy, and that's offense, but defense can be sexy too, and defense wins, and defense gets you double-digit win seasons, and defense gets you in the consideration to be in the Big Ten championship game and the playoff picture. So again, you're good at defense, lean on it, complement it as much as you can with the offense, and they've done a really good job of that this season.
Who do you think has more to prove on Saturday? Oregon proving they belong?
No,
Iowa
Iowa, 100% it's Iowa. It's not even close. You know, Iowa's sitting there at number 20. I think that's a bit of a surprise to a lot of people in the national scene. And that's a great sign for Iowa because that means those people on that committee have enough value in them with their eyeballs and the eye test and the stats that they are at a number 20 spot, that they are in contention to get themselves to the playoffs. But they don't have that marquee win. You know, I think a lot of people are going to reflect back on week 2 and the loss to Iowa State. Iowa needs to tell people, we're not that team anymore. We are a team capable of beating a top 10 team, a nationally respected program like Oregon. Once that happens, eyeballs open, not just in the Midwest, not just East Coast, but West as well, and people will say, oh, okay, Hawkeyes, show me what you got. You guys are for real.
So just a quick follow-up to that then. So do you think...
I'm going nowhere. I'm all right. I'm fine. Thank you for looking out for me.
If Iowa pulls this off, and they're already number 20, where do you think they can go after?
So that's what I think is cool about this number 20 placement for Iowa is they have been granted this amazing opportunity on Saturday, right? Sellout crowd, national TV audience, Big Noon is here, top 10 team in town. This is one of those type of wins where you don't make a little jump, you make a seismic jump. We're talking 5 to 6. And then now you're inside that top 15, you know some dominoes are gonna fall. You know teams up there are gonna work their way down. So I think Iowa's in a huge position to make a significant jump if they can get by the Ducks.
Everybody here has more punt return yards than Oregon's allowed this season. I guess for when it comes down to it, like how big of a factor will the weather play maybe in special teams? Because Caden Weejan's fearless as can be, but obviously Oregon hasn't allowed anything at all this season. I mean, do you think that could be kind of the thing that the game break that Iowa probably needs to?
In this new day of age of college football with NIL and the transfer portal, the margins are so much smaller, and college football is much more of a wide open race right now. To that point, it's the little things that are going to win games, and I think the offense and defenses are probably going to offset themselves for the most part, which means how's this game going to be decided? Something like special teams. whether it's starting field position, whether it's possession, whether it's a great return that takes you from inside the 10 to, outside the 40. Those are the little things, particularly when you're talking Iowa football, where they are right now, that absolutely change the face of the game.
I guess also to follow up, I know
Sure.
you watched, I watched Mitch and his podcast.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How'd we do? Did we do a pretty good job? Pretty good job on the pod?
He does.
He had a
He does
lot
a
of
good
questions
job.
for me. It was good.
He's a superstar, so he gets
quotes.
But like Kirk Ferentz being around as long as he did, I mean, go back to when you were here last time, I guess. Would you have ever predicted that a coach would be a mainstay like Kirk Ferentz, and will it ever happen again?
Kirk Ferentz being here for as long as he has been doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, that is a classy individual who represents this program at the highest level, gets wins, makes people proud of this program. Will it happen again? I think it will. I think you're going to see less and less. My thing on Kirk Ferentz is, can we start building the statue right now for him? Like, can we pick the spot? Can we pick the pose? Because this guy deserves a statue, and he deserves it right now. That's what Kirk Ferentz means, not just to Iowa, not just to Iowa football, but to this great state of Iowa.